Good morning, everybody. This is Kevin Cahill from the Irish American Club of Berkshire County, and I join you this morning from the beautiful studios of 89.7 WTBR-FM, Pittsfield Community Radio. I, for one, am grateful for the warm weather because I remember February, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. The show we have planned for you today will include Sinead O'Connor, Katie McMahon, Dave Glover, Christy Moore, Desmond Early, and we'll have our usual slots for the news from Ireland. So let's get started this Sunday morning with Sinead O'Connor.
In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first laid my eyes on sweet Molly Malone, as she wheeled her wheelbarrow through the streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, 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 oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive. She was a fishmonger, and sure 'twas no wonder, for so was her father and mother before, and they all wheeled their barrows through the streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She died of a fever, and no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Now her ghost wheels her barrow through the streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels,
Thank you very much indeed. Give a next wee round of applause for my best friend, Jerry Rice. All I want is Tony and Trixie and all the boys, and I'd be delighted. It'd be great.
Buonasera, Signorina, buonasera. For it's time to say goodnight in Napoli. For it's hard for me to whisper buonasera while that old moon's above the Mediterranean Sea. In the morning, Signorina, we'll go walking when the mountains and the sun come into sight. By the little old jeweler shop, we'll stop and linger while I buy that wedding ring for your finger. In the meantime, let me tell you that I love you, babe. Buonasera, Signorina, kiss me goodnight. Signorina, buonasera. For it's time to say goodnight in Napoli. Know the words? For it's hard for me to whisper buonasera while that old moon's above the Mediterranean Sea. In the morning, Signorina, we'll go walking when the mountains and the sun come into sight. By the little old jeweler shop, we'll stop and linger while I buy that wedding ring for your finger. In the meantime, let me tell you that I love you, babe. Buonasera, Signorina, kiss me goodnight. Buonasera, Signorina, kiss me Mr. Dave Glover!
Jerry Rice.
Dave Glover show band there from my collection of Irish show bands. Years ago, I remember reading an interview with Bono, who said that the biggest block that Irish rock bands had to encounter, at least in terms of entertaining in local venues throughout Ireland, were the big bands, who, of course, were very popular in Ireland in the 70s, in the early 80s, and in the 60s and 50s, for that matter. The primary form of entertainment on a Saturday night if you're going out of the house. So Bono complained about that, and, well, we all know the end of that story. A new exhibition featuring hundreds of glass potatoes to represent the suffering caused by the famine has opened at Strokestown Park in County Roscommon, which we know is the home of the Irish Famine Museum. The installation of 1,845 hand-blown glass potatoes is called an 1845 Memento Mori, and it took 15 years to complete. The work is being presented outdoor at the historical gazebo tower within the walled gardens of the National Famine Museum in Strokestown Park until the 10th of July. The exhibition, created by Seattle-based Irish artist Paula Stokes, kicks off a multi-venue tour over the next few years. 1845 is significant as it references the year that the potato blight came to Ireland, marking the beginning of a period of mass starvation, disease, and immigration. Dr. Emma O'Toole, Collections and Interpretation Manager at the Irish Heritage Trust, which cares for and manages the property, said that it is fitting that the first venue for the Irish artist on Irish soil is at the Famine Museum. The story of the Great Irish Famine of the 1840s has particular resonance at Strokestown. Tenants on the estate were hugely impacted, many immigrated or died, and a previous owner of the house and local landlord, Major Dennis Mehan, was assassinated in November in 1847 at the height of the famine, she added. Paula Stokes reflects on her own history as an immigrant to examine historical events that have shaped the present. In creating this work, I honor my Irish heritage and culture, and I'm thrilled to be bringing this installation to my home country after 15 years of working on the project. She believes that 1845 Memento Mori will resonate with a wide variety of audiences as it reminds us of our own fragile humanity and serves as a connection between shared human experiences in the past and present, unquote. So if you happen to be in Ireland before July 10th, by all means, pay a visit to Strokestown and examine this delightful project. It sounds wonderful. So all credit to Ms. Stokes. And before we heard from the David Glover Show Band, we also heard from Katie McMahon with her instrumental Carolyn's Farewell, and we heard from Sinead O'Connor, the album Shen Nas Nua, with her version of Molly Malone. I'm not sure I like that version, but there you are. And now we're going to hear from Porrick Stevens and his tribute to the Irish Show Band.
Seven pairs of the Beatles boots, 7 men in matching suits, cover versions, lads a lot, 6 and 6, Jacob's biscuit box. I remember showmans, but yeah, that was the only place to go. Quackaways in the Ohio and the bandits, Johnny Flynn, all of Maloney's bandits when I came in. I remember show bands. Your next dance, please stay on the floor with me. My friends are watching, I want them all to see. You know I love this dance all life, I wish that I was older. Show bands. We were the Problems, our rockin' band, playing in the Phoenix, going grand. Kids were dancing, walking out to the click and the twist and shout. I remember show bands. We played the leaf to the mighty Evans, down at Katoma like taking the lifts. 15 pounds, we crashed the van, belonged to Sonny Cully, was a friend of my dad. I remember showbiz. I love the way you wiggle and wear your hair, the way that you giggle at clothes you wear. You know I love the dance dance all life. I wish that I was older. All of them were show bands. There was Johnny Callan, velvet collars, we taught Sergeant Pepper's strange. They didn't know the world was changing. All of them were show bands. 20 years later, they got a call from the star doctors on the ball. Blue van loaded the tune commandos, picking the tulip with the hats and the mandos. All of them were show bands. And so we come to the end of the song. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and especially the boys in the band, Joe McIntyre, Frankie Hannon and Johnny Flynn. That was the best show band I had ever seen. I love the dance all life. I wish that I was old. I remember show bands. I remember show bands. I remember show bands. I remember show bands. That's when girls and boys went jump and jive all around the dance hall.
behind a dry stone wall, at a beauty spot, on out be Karen. Go on, get back to Dublin, ye hippies don't belong here. Traipsing round the burden, never spending very long here. And the only thing I could think to say was, sure we all belong here. This too is my native shore. While I'm here, I'll sing you a song in praise of Mullaghmore. I took a rocky road up Cropat, the Rick and a mossy path, up Schlieve Galleon Berets. I plunged the deep at Brandon Creek and slept in a glade beyond the Dunmave. All alone along the Wicklow way, peace and solitude I found. When I reached the slopes of Mullaghmore, I could have swore that was the holy ground. Minister, 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 pause for reflection as you fly by helicopter in pursuit of re-election. An obsession with affairs of state and high-flying legislature makes it hard for a man to share in the miracles of nature. Like the fairy fox loving the rusty back fern at Poulnagullum, and the silver crane's bill and Columbine at Caherconnell, the juniper at Bell Harbour, the wintergreen around Schlieve Carron. And these miracles of nature surviving in the crevices of the burn. There's going to be sewerage schemes and septic tanks, tarmac and concrete mixers. Rumour circling County Clare, promising lots of nixers. Car parks to be levelled, infills and elevations. And when all the dust is settled, a handful of jobs for the boys and for the relations. Nature took 2 million years at the sculpture Mullaghmore, carved from the ancient rock by the freezing ice and the snow. As the sun shines down on the mountain by the broad Atlantic Ocean, you can hear the small birds singing and the burn down round Mullaghmore.
Nice song there from Christy Moore. The name of the album, Where I Come From. And before that, we heard from Paddy Noonan with his Best Of album with the Jacqueline Waltz. And before that, we heard Porrick Stevens with his tribute to the big band era, I Remember Show Bands. The Sligo Rovers have laid out plans to redevelop their existing stadium at the showgrounds, as well as building a new academy complex in Sligo in an estimated €17 million project. The Bit of Red, that's a team, who are set to go second in the SSE Atricity League Premier Division this week, have published a 54-page document detailing their vision of turning their home into a 6,000-seat stadium. The Football Association of Ireland have described the plan as visionary and offered unanimous support in Sligo. In the future, the club is also set to open up the stadium to other sports after a provisional agreement with Sligo Rugby Club. And this is controversial. Whenever an Irish stadium is built and the authorities are deciding which teams, who teams are going to perform, play there, there's always a controversy of whether or not the pitch on which traditional Gaelic games are played can also be used by teams representing non-Gaelic teams, let's put it that way, like rugby. But it seems Sligo is going to open up their stadium to the Sligo Rugby Club, nonetheless, to use for major matches and an invitation to host provincial games. As a result, a new extendable hybrid pitch will be installed on the ground, consisting of 95% grass. The club are actively seeking land within the Sligo area of development for an academy based containing 3 pitches outside of the showgrounds. Preliminary discussions have taken place with the Sligo County Council, and they have endorsed the plan. So I look forward to going to Sligo, which is a nice little town, and visiting the new stadium when next I'm in Ireland. But in the meantime now, we're going to hear from the University College Dublin Choral Singers.
Find myself a better life It's as good as it gets, sitting outside Figobets, gazing at the girls in Ljubljana. There is Svetka and Slovenka, Živa and Radenka, but the girl to buy a beer is Mariana. On Sundays at the skating, wishing only that I might be mating Petya on Ivanka, how divine, oh. Watching Maya floating round the ice blue trouser suit, very nice, her yellow hair streaming out behind her. At the dance in Hala Tivoli on Saturday's great revelry, we danced to Mladi Levy, the young lions. Oh, Milena, she is supple and we make a handsome couple, but Ivanka is the girl I've got my eye on. It's as good as it gets, sitting outside Figobets, gazing at the girls in Ljubljana. There is Svetka and Slovenka, Živa and Alenka, but the girl to bring an ice cream is Jana. I was feeling kind of fluky as I played upon my Greek bouzouki, trying to impress Anna Maria. I was singing her a love song, I might as well have been King Kong. She hadn't the fuckiest idea. But Shavapchichi will always be a happy memory for me, washed down with a jug of Cherno vino and fried potatoes, goulash sauce, scarcely sexual intercourse, but Vlasta has the money for this vino. It's as good as it gets, sitting outside Figobets, gazing at the girls in Ljubljana. There is Svetka and Slovenka, Živa and Radenka, but I think I've got a crush on Tatiana. With Vida through the woods at night, walking arm in arm by moonlight, she wears my ring upon her finger. But her mother leaning from the window, shouting out in foreign lingo, makes me think perhaps we should not linger. So my flimsy tent in the dark, we pitched it there in Tivoli Park and spent the night surrounded by the weather. Oh, for miles around the storms of fray, with lightning and with thunder played, the rain lashed down in buckets hell for leather. We're the only creatures in this world, warm and dry, me and my girl, as the storm the countryside does batter. But before the early dawn we rise to hide ourselves from prying eyes, facing the new day's another matter. On the day that I departed, it was early in the morn, I started heading for that road I knew so well. When I reached the outskirts of the town, I scarcely even turned around. My future lay ahead, I broke the spell. But it's as good as it gets, sitting outside Figobets with Dasha, Katerina and Ivana. In my memory you will always be a bevy of the greatest beauty. Bless the days I spent in Ljubljana. Oh, happy days I spent in Ljubljana.
Was in the merry month of June. From me home I started, left the girls a tune. Sad and broken hearted, saluted father dear. Kissed me darling mother, drank a pint of beer. Me tears and grief to smother then off to reap the corn. Live where I was born, I cut a stout like horn to banish coast and double and brand new pair of brogues. Rattled o'er the bogs and frightened all the dogs on the rocky road to Dublin. On to 3 for 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin. Whack for Aldi-da. In Mullingar that night I rested limbs so weary, started by daylight next morning bright and early. Took a drop of the pure to keep me heart from sinking. That's the paddy's cure when air is on for drinking. See the lassies smile, laughing all the while at me curious style. But set your heart a bubble and asked if I was hired the wages I required till I was almost tired of the rocky road to Dublin. 1 to 3 for 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road all the way to Dublin. Whack for Aldi-da. In Dublin next arrived, I thought it such a pity to be so soon deprived of view of that fine city. So then I took a stroll all among the quality bundle it was stole. In a neat locality something crossed me mind. When I looked behind, no bundle could I find. Upon me stick a wobble inquired for the road. They said Mechanic Road wasn't much in vogue on the rocky road to Dublin. 1 to 3 for 5, thump the hare and turn her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin. Whack for Aldi-da. From there I got away, me spirits never failing. Landed on the quay just as the ship was sailing. Captain at me roared, said that no room had he. When I jumped aboard, the cabin found for Paddy. Down among the pigs I played some hearty rigs, danced some hearty jigs. The water round me bubbled and went off Holyhead. I wished myself was dead or better off instead. On the rocky road to Dublin. 1 to 3 for 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin. Whack for Aldi-da. The boys of Liverpool, when we safely landed, called myself a fool. I could no longer stand it. Blood began to boil, temper I was losing. Poor old Erin's Isle, they began abusing her. Me soul, says I, Shillelagh I let fly. Some Galway boys were by, and so I was a-hobbling with the loud hooray. They joined in the affray, and quickly cleared the way for the rocky road to Dublin. 1 to 3 for 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin. Whack for Aldi-da. Hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin. Whack for Aldi-da.
Died the sons of Roisin. Was it fame? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it fame? For what flowed Ireland's blood in rivers that began when Brian chased the dame, and did not cease nor has not ceased with the brave sons of 16? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it fame? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it greed? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it greed? Was it greed that drove Wolfe Tone to a pauper's death in a cell of cold, wet stone? Will German, French, or Dutch inscribe the epitaph of Emmet when we've sold enough of Ireland to be but strangers in it? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it greed? To whom do we owe our allegiance today? To whom do we owe our allegiance today? To those brave men who fought and died, that Roisin live again with pride. Her sons at home to work and sing, her youth to dance and make her valleys ring. Or the faceless men who for mark and the dollar betray her to the highest bidder. To whom do we owe our allegiance today? For what suffer our patriots today? For what suffer our patriots today? They have a language problem, so they say. How to write no trespass must grieve their heart full sore. We got rid of one strange language, now we're faced with many, many more. For what suffer our patriots today?
That was Luke Kelly, if you didn't recognize his voice right away, with the Dubliners. What Died for the Sons of Roisin is the name of that speech. And before that, we heard from Dervish, the Great Irish Songbook, their album, and the great song that we all love, The Rocky Road to Dublin. All kinds of versions of that song. And before that, we heard from Andy Irvin with the inevitable Donal Looney, and a couple of Czech and Slovak musicians, Bruce Molsky, Rens van der Zalm, and Nikola Parov. And the name of that song was As Good as It Gets, and it was punctuated, I'll say, by a reel called The Blue Trouser Suit. This is Andy writing. I was much taken with the town of Ljubljana when I was there in 1968. I made a lot of friends, and if my youthful romantic desires for a bit more than friendship were largely rebuffed, I could hardly blame the objects of my desire. They saw that there was no point in falling in love with some foreign rambler who might be off on the road in a minute and never be seen again. So writes Andy Irvin. And now we're going to hear from Patty in the Smoke.
sound the pibroch loud and high, from John O'Groats to the Isle of Skye. Let all your clans with battle cry rise and follow Charlie. Hachim hom hom hom, Hachim hom hom hom, Hachim hom hom hom. Rise and follow Charlie. By dark Loch Shield they make their stand, that small devoted Highland band. They swore to fight with heart and hand and follow their royal Charlie. Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom. Rise and follow Charlie. By dark Culloden's field of gold, hark how they cry Claymore, Claymore. Bravely they fight, can they do more than die for royal Charlie? Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom. Rise and follow Charlie. No more will see such deeds again. Deserted now each Highland glen, and lonely cairns are o'er the men who fought and died for Charlie. Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom. Rise and follow Charlie. So sound the pibroch loud and high, from John O'Groats to the Isle of Skye. Let all your clans with battle cry rise and follow Charlie. Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom. Rise and follow Charlie. Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom, Hachim fom fom fom. Rise and follow Charlie.
That Mad Piping, and Ulian Piping, I might add, from the Fury Brothers. I'm not sure who on the Fury Brothers. It's from an album that I have with probably about 50 different songs, most of them not singing songs, but most of them are pretty much instrumentals, including that one. And before that, we heard Mickey and Liam Spain with the sound of the Pibroch. And before that, we heard from Edmund Murphy and Con Curtin on the fiddles. I'm not sure who was playing the piano, but the reels were Mo the Hills, Tie the Bonnet, the Abbey Reels, from the album Patty in the Smoke. And this is Kevin Cahill saying goodbye for another week. Please listen to our show again next week. And please listen to all the locally produced programming here at WTBR 89.7 Pittsfield Community Radio. Gurama Ugach Ugashji Shahugan.